Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to reveal heaven to you, or specifically, Hiyaven, which means he who came. What does it mean, Hiyaven? In every single ancient culture is a notion of a shepherd, also known as a king, chief, ruler, a person of power, that which would give a method or a way of living to those that which followed him, whether you were of a tribe or whether you were of a long-lasting empire, you were still following one particular shepherd known as your ruler at that particular time. Which means you traveled in the direction that ruler's mind was going. So what is Hiyaven? What is heaven? In ancient cultures, a lot of the symbolizations specifically represent just the head. Which now when you look at your mind and your mental state, which now, if I may say, that from your mind, you then became a body. You are first a mind, and then you became a body. And what is the particular thesis behind this? Well, in science, for example, we are actually trying to prove, does consciousness generate matter, or does matter generate consciousness? Allow me to answer that question with one particular statement. Do you see this light right here? What do you think turns on that light? Because see, would you argue that it is the bulb, or the moment I go to the switch that the light turns on? Or would you now say that specifically it is not the light itself, but the energy that allows that light to illuminate, also known as the spirit, which is what you are. You are a soul, you are a mind, you are a being with a body, actively generating with your energy. You are entering into the physical reality where you are now present as a divine being, a human, a measure of light, hue, man, which means you are a being of consciousness, a being of light. You are self-aware. You are able to reflect in your thought process. But in the direction that Hiyaven has been going now, where you now see that from his coming has been much different experiences for all walks of life. Because all of a sudden we could see that not only were people afraid, some felt the beauty of the goodness about to come, whereas others sought to destroy that which they did not understand. What is Hiyaven? It is your mind. Because in your mind, You can actively travel space and time and relocate to Hiaven, where you can recenter within yourself in the presence of Christ, also known as a Christ consciousness level, where you enter a higher state above yourself. You're not bound specifically just to this body and mind. You're also bound to a much greater experience, which you now begin to experience the moment you awaken such a thing as psychosis, which is when you begin your experience of echolocation, also known as telepathy. Another sense known as intuition, which now in intuition you begin developing higher and higher and higher and higher levels of your resonance, which is the release of that sense. Because see, if a sense is meant to be the external world processed outwards and put in, your internal sense is meant to be processed inwards and output outwards. You have different stages of your experience, and you have different senses according to each stage of your experiences. And the more you dive into the mind, the more you explore the different senses, such as transportation, where you can actively imagine where you wish or want to present yourself in space and time. Now, I want you to think of a bright white light, as bright as you can. Close your eyes and just imagine a bright white light. Do you feel how you can see it? Meanwhile, you're technically not actually there, because you are there. In the mind, it is the imagination that allows the hue, the light of the man to shine, allowing you to imagine now the world you wish to create, because from your imagination you can create now the patterns of architectures you wish to control and measure your life through, and build the life you've always wanted. Hiaven is the moment you achieve a state of a coming within yourself, arriving to who you are at your full potential as a human. In a sense, it is a way you could explain it as heaven. Excuse me. Heaven is simply just a state of mind. The longer you repeat your negative patterns, the longer you stay within your dormant state. In order to make the ascension into the next stage, which is known as the mind, a different experience where you are now more awake, where you are no longer purely just grounded, but become an active, breathing, energetic chakra pathway, and your kundalini rises and falls. But these emotional frequencies and ranges now alter the state of your mind based on your external experience. And this creates these essential pulsations, you could say, which echo or ripple throughout space and time. Which is why you as a viewer might have this sinking feeling in your chest that I may be speaking the truth now. And this is where you feel fear. But from fear is the beginning where the byproduct of fear stems hatred, because you might now begin to say this guy is full of baloney. And yet in that statement, you might also feel a certain truth in yourself if you are willing to listen. The master does not present himself unless if the ears of the student are willing to listen. And now if you wish to understand Hiaven, then I invite you to take your life in the direction you want it to go. Because the moment you get there is when he will arrive.